Hello everyone, welcome back to Pabbly. In this video, we are going to learn how to send event registration reminders from Google Forms to Gmail. So I am an owner of an event management company. I have created a form using Google Forms. With the help of which I collect the data of the participants, the registrations of the event. I have recently organized an event. The registrants are registering with the help of the form submission using Google Forms. Towards them, I want to send reminders 7 days before the event as well as a day before the event. Now, sending these reminders to multiple registrants manually is a very time-consuming and hectic process. So, to solve this problem, I have set up an automation between Google Forms and Gmail without need of any coding and programming skills using Pabbly Connect. Now, whenever a form submission is going to be done using Google Forms by the participant, automatically towards them, reminders are going to be forwarded using Gmail as an email 7 days before the event as well as a day before the event. So now if you want to learn this entire process step by step, for that you have to come with me towards my screen.
Welcome to my screen. So I am an owner of an event management business and I often organize workshops, webinars and seminars for my clients. I use Google Forms to collect event registrations seamlessly. And I use Gmail to send timely reminders to registered participants. This automation helps me keep my attendees informed and engaged by automatically sending reminder emails once someone registers for an event through the form. And I will send 2 reminders, a week before the event as well as a day before the event. Okay? So now we're going to create this amazing automation using Pabbly Connect. For that, on a new tab, I'm going to browse the website of Pabbly Connect, that is www.pabbly.com/connect. After browsing the website, Pabbly Connect's landing page is then going to appear in front of you, on which you will find 2 options, that is sign in or sign up for free. Before continuing with this automation, I want to tell you about Pabbly Community. Pabbly Community is an exclusive space where you can find real-time updates as well as you can ask questions from our team members as well as fellow users are going to help you. In this space, you can ask questions, share ideas, even find automation tips. So go ahead and join our Pabbly Community today. For that, you will find the link of our community in the description box below. Now let us get started with this amazing automation. After coming to the landing page, I've already told you, you'll find 2 options. If you're an existing user, you can directly sign into your Pabbly Connect account. But if you're a new user, you can sign up for free and get 100 free tasks every month. I am an existing user, so I'm going to directly sign into my Pabbly Connect account. Then all Pabbly apps section of Pabbly is going to appear in front of you, in which you can see all the applications that Pabbly provides. As you want to use Pabbly Connect, I'm going to click on this Access Now button right over here. Then Pabbly Connect's dashboard is going to appear in front of you. And now to create a new automation in our Pabbly Connect account, we have to create a new workflow. For that, click on this Create Workflow button. You will find 2 methods of building the workflow. One is the new beta method, other one is the old classic method. I'm going to select the old classic method to create this workflow from here. Firstly, we have to rename our workflow. So for the name of my workflow, I'm going to write send event registration reminders from Google Forms to Gmail. Okay, so this is the name of my workflow. For the folder, these are the folders from which I'm going to select the workflows folder, and then I'm going to click on this create button right over here. Then you can see a new workflow has been created, and you can see that there are 2 windows in front of you. One is the trigger window, other one is the action window. So what is trigger and action? Trigger and action are the 2 most important steps of our automation process because our process depends on these 2 principles. Over here, trigger says when this happens and action says do this. That means what is action? Action is a response towards our trigger. In an automation process, there can be one trigger step but multiple action steps. We are going to set up our trigger step first, in which my trigger application, I'm going to select over here as Google Forms. Using Google Forms, I have created a form with the help of which I am collecting the event registration from my participants. Over here, what I want is that as soon as by the participant, a new form submission is going to be done using Google Forms. Using Google Forms, I want the trigger should capture the response of that. That is why for my trigger application, I've selected over here as Google Forms, and the trigger event is going to be new response received. After selecting the trigger application and the event, you can see that Pabbly Connect has provided us with the webhook URL. Now using the unique webhook URL and by following the steps given here below in the help desk, we are going to build the connection between Google Forms and Pabbly Connect. Okay. So firstly, I'm going to copy this URL from here and open the form that I want to connect. After opening the form, go to responses section and click on this link to sheets option. You will have two options to select the destination for responses. Either you can create a new spreadsheet or select the existing one. I'm going to create a new one from here. Okay. This spreadsheet that I've created right here is directly connected with this form, okay? Whenever now by the participant a new form submission is going to be done using this form, automatically the record of the form details is going to be added in this spreadsheet. So now what we are going to do is we're going to connect this spreadsheet with Pabbly Connect, okay? Now for that, from the panel, go to extensions, add-ons and get add-ons option right here. Then this window is going to appear in front of you, on which on the search bar, we have to search for Pabbly Connect webhooks and select it, okay? As you can see that I've already installed Pabbly Connect webhooks, so I'm going to move forward. But if you have not installed Pabbly Connect webhooks, please do install it so that with the help of this webhook, we are going to build the connection between Google Sheets and Pabbly Connect, okay? After installing, go back and refresh the spreadsheet from here. After refreshing, go back to extensions. Now you can see the option Pabbly Connect webhooks. Click on it. From the drop down, select the option Initial Setup right over here. Then the Initial Setup dialog box is then going to appear in front of you, which is asking for the webhook URL and the trigger column. For the field of webhook URL, I'm going to paste the webhook URL that Pabbly Connect has provided us. And for the trigger column, it says the trigger column will be your final data column on which if the data is added, the whole of that raw data will be sent to the webhook URL, okay? In this spreadsheet, my trigger column is going to be this column E because whenever a new data is going to be added in this column, the entire row's data will be forwarded towards this webhook URL. So for my trigger column, I'm going to write it as column E and then I'm going to click on this submit button. As I've done that, it says setup configured successfully. This means now the connection between this spreadsheet and Pabbly Connect is almost done. Now the steps that I'm going to tell you right now is super important. So please do not forget to follow them. Go back to extensions and Pabbly Connect webhooks and from the drop down select the option that is send on event. It is mandatory to select send on event because as soon as you're going to enter the new data in the spreadsheet, this spreadsheet is going to collect that data and send it towards this webhook URL. That is our workflow, okay? That is why it is mandatory to click on send on event, okay? So now as we have done that, as we have followed the steps, this is how you build a connection between Google Forms and Pabbly Connect. If I'm going to go back to my workflow and scroll down, it says waiting for webhook response. So now to check whether Google Forms is successfully connected to Pabbly Connect or not, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do a test form submission using the form that I've created using Google Forms. And after that, I'm going to check whether automatically trigger captures the response of the new form submission or not. For doing this form submission, I'm going to click on this send button, link button and copy this link from here and open it in a new tab right over here. As I've done that, this form is then opened right over here. Let us do the form submission. Firstly, it is asking for the participant's first name. So for the name of my participant, I'm going to write it as dummy. Last name over here, I'm going to write over here as customer, okay? For the email over here, I'm going to write it as dummycustomer45@pabblytudes.com. And for the phone number, I'm going to enter a dummy mobile number right here. After filling in all the details, I'm going to click on this submit button. It says we have received your registration. That means now the form submission is done. If I'm going to open my workflow and scroll down and wait over here for a few seconds, in front of you, you can see the response has been captured in my trigger. So as you can see right over here, the response has been captured. Let us tally the response right here. You can see the name of the participant is dummy. Last name is customer. Email is dummycustomer45@pabblytudes.com with this dummy mobile number. Okay. So as now the response has been captured over here in my trigger, this means that Google Forms is now been connected to Pabbly Connect and our trigger setup is now been done. After setting up our trigger step, we have to set up our action step. Now, as we have received our participant details, towards this participant who has done registration for the event that I'm hosting, I want to send them event reminders. I want to send 2 sets of reminders, 7 days before the event as well as a day before the event, okay? If I'm going to open the form that I've created right over here, you can see the event is on 27th of July 2025 from 11 to 12:30 p.m., okay? So now over here, we have to add a delay. as the event is on 27th of July. You can see right over here. 7 days before, that means 28th of July, the first reminder is going to be forwarded towards my participants. And then after that, another reminder will be forwarded on 26th of July. And I want to send both of the reminders at 11 a.m. For that, we have to add delay according to the reminders that we are forwarding in this workflow right here. Delay will help us to delay this workflow. We'll receive the response in our trigger. This workflow and that's going to be in our trigger. This workflow with the help of delay is going to be paused until the date that we have added, and on the date and time, this delay is going to execute and the steps are further going to be followed. Okay. First delay I want to add for the date that is 28th, that is 28th of July 2025 at 11 a.m. So now for adding the delay, we have to set up our action step, in which from action application, I'm going to select over here as delay by Pabbly. An action event is going to be add delay time. And then I'm going to click on this connect button right here. It says how much delay do you want to put in the workflow? Select the option as delay until, as we're putting delay until a date. Okay. Then we have to add the delay date. And in that, we have to add a delay date in this format, that too in a UTC time zone. The format is YYYY, MMDD, HHMM and SS. Okay. So now we have to have a date in this format. For that, I'm going to add an action step before this step right over here. And my action application is going to be date time formatter by Pabbly. Action event is going to be format date with time zone. And then I'm going to click on this connect button. Now over here, I want to edit the date, that is going to be 28th of July 2025. The first reminder is going to be forwarded on this date and the time is 11 a.m. right over here. So I'm going to write it as 11 a.m. Okay. So this is the date that I've entered, that is in the format DDMMYYYYHHMMSS with the time. Okay. So for the from format, I'm going to select this format that I've entered the date in. That is this exact format you can see right over here. Okay. And the to format is going to be the format that this delay is asking. That is this format right here. Okay. Then we want the time in a UTC time zone format. So for the from format, I'm going to select over here as Asia, Kolkata. And for the to format, I'm going to select over here as UTC time zone. Okay. And then I'm going to click on this save and send test request button. You can see I've received the date and time in the asked format. Okay. Now we're going to add this date and time that we have edited in this field. Now for this field data, I'm going to map the data, which is inserting data from the previous step. So I'm going to insert the data from this previous step of this workflow. How it works is that as soon as I'm going to click on this field, the previous steps are going to appear in front of you. As I'm going to click on the date time formatter step, you can see over here, this is the delay date and time right here. So I'm going to select the data of the delay date and time from my previous response. As now I've selected the data from my previous response, this data has now been mapped. And as I've mapped this data, the data has now become dynamic. That means now whenever a new response is going to be captured in our previous step, automatically the new data is going to be updated in place of this mapped data. And then I'm going to click on this save and send test request button. You can see the delay is successfully added in this flow. Now after collecting the data of the participant, this flow is going to be further executed after this delay time only, that is on 20th of July at 11 a.m. Okay. Now after adding this delay, we have to send our first reminder. For that, I'm going to add an action step in which my action application, I'm going to select over here as Gmail. And my action event is going to be send email v1 and then I'm going to click on this connect button. This window is going to appear on which click on add new connection. Then click on this connect with Gmail button right over here. Then it is asking for us to choose an account that we want to connect with Pabbly Connect. This is the account. I'm going to select it. After that, it is asking for the permission for this account, for which I'm going to click on this allow button as this is a safe process and my data is perfectly safe with Pabbly Connect. So I'm going to click on this allow button right over here. And as I've done that, you can see Gmail has now been successfully connected. It is asking for the recipient email address to whom we want to send an email to. For that, I'm going to map the data of the email of my participant from my Google Forms step. Okay. Then it is asking for the CC and the BCC, which I do not require. So I'm going to skip the part. For the sender's name over here, I'm going to write the name of my business, that is Team Eventora Productions. Okay. Then it is asking for the subject of my email. Now for the subject over here, as now I'm going to send this email a week before the event. So the subject is going to be according to that. So I'm going to write the subject over here as, so this is the subject. Just 1 week to go. Get ready for the Master Your Productivity workshop. Okay, so this is the subject that I have of my email. Then it is asking for the reply to, which I do not want, so I'm going to skip the part. For the email content type, I'm going to write the email content in HTML body, so I'm going to select over here option as HTML. But if you're writing in a plain format, you can select the plain as well. Next, it is asking for the email content, for which over here I'm going to write it as. So this is the email content that I have right here. Okay. In this email content, it is asking for the name of my participant, for which I'm going to map the data of the name of my participant from this step. So first name space the last name. Okay. So this is the entire thing you can see right over here. After that, it is asking for the file name and the attachment, which I do not want. So I'm going to simply skip the part and simply click on the save and send test request button right here. As I've done that, you can see the status comes over here as sent. This means the email has been forwarded. Why this email is forwarded right now? Because we have clicked on save and send test request. A test email is going to be forwarded, but in actual real time, this mail will be forwarded 7 days before your event that you have. Okay, as we have clicked on this test button as well right over here, that is why a test email is going to be forwarded towards the address that you have added. So if I'm going to open my Gmail account from here, you can see right over here the email is forwarded. Just 1 week to go. Get ready for the Master Your Productivity workshop. Just 1 week to go. The name is Demi Customer. You can see this was the name of the person who have done the form submission right over here. Has been added in this email with the details also you can see right over here and few instructions. Okay. So you can see right over here, this is how the email is going to be forwarded of the reminder a week before the event. Okay. So now after setting up this step right over here, we have to set up our second reminder in the same manner. We have to add the daytime formatter, delay and send the reminder. Okay. Firstly, now we have to add the delay right over here. So I'm going to select the delay right here. Action event is going to be add delay time. Then I'm going to click on this connect button. It is over here saying how much delay do you want to put in the workshop. I'm going to write over here as delay until. Now let us have the date. For that, I'm going to add an action step. In which from action application, I'm going to select over here as daytime formatter by Pabbly. Action event, I'm going to select as format date by time zone. Then I'm going to click on this connect button. Now this date is going to be a day before the event. That is 26th of July. Okay, so for the date over here, I'm going to write it as 26th of July 2025 at what? 11 a.m. only. So I'm going to write over here as 11 a.m. Okay. So this is the date and time. For the from format, I'm going to select the same format right over here. For the to format, I'm going to select the format that delay is asking for. After that, for the for time zone over here, I'm going to write it as Asia Kolkata. For the to time zone, I'm going to select over here as UTC time zone and simply click on this save and send test request button. Then you can see in the response, we have received the date and time a day before the event. So I'm going to add this date and time in this delay right over here. I'm going to map the data of this date and time right here and click on this save and send test request button. You can see second delay is added. This is a day before the event delay. Okay. So now we're going to send another reminder on Gmail. So again, I'm going to set up my action step in which from action application, I'm going to select over here as Gmail. Action event is going to be send email v1. Then I'm going to click on this connect button. I'm going to select the existing connection that I've already created. But if you want, you can add a new connection from here. Okay. It is asking for the recipient email address. For the email address, again, I'm going to map the date of the email address of the participant. I do not require CC and the BCC, so I'm going to skip the part. For the sender's name over here, I'm going to write it as Team Eventora Productions. You can see right over here for the subject, this subject and this body is going to be according to what? A day before the event. So for the subject and the body, I'm going to write it. So this is the subject. Tomorrow's the day. Your Master Your Productivity workshop awaits. Okay, so this is the subject. I do not have the reply to. I'm going to skip the part. Content type is going to be HTML. I'm going to select it. Email content is going to be. So this is the email content you can see right over here. In this content, it is asking for the name of my participant. So I'm going to map the date of the participant from this step. First name space the last name. Okay. In this, I have also added the Zoom link. Okay. You have to add your event link. If you have an online event, you have to add that link right over here. For example, I've added Pabbly Connect's link. You can see right over here just for the example. Okay. But in place of this, you have to add your event link if you have an online event. Okay. After adding the content type, I do not require any of these fields, so I'm going to skip the part. I'm going to again click on the save and send test request button, and a test email is then going to be forwarded. You can see the status comes over here as sent. So if I'm going to open my Gmail account over here, I'm going to go back. You can see a new email has been forwarded. Tomorrow's the day. Your Master Your Productivity workshops await. Just 1 day left. You can see over here, this is the reminder that is going to be forwarded in the same manner a day before the event towards your participant. Okay. So as now second email has also been forwarded, this means that we have successfully built this amazing automation to send event registration reminders for Google Forms to Gmail using Pabbly Connect. So now to sum up till now what we have done. Now whenever by the participant a new form submission is going to be done using Google Forms, automatically this trigger Google Forms new response received is going to capture the response of that. Now, as the participant has done the form submission towards the participant, the first reminder is going to be forwarded a week before the event. Okay, that is why we have added the delay and I have sent it the reminder a week before the event. Then I've added the second set of reminder that is going to be a day before the event and the reminder is going to be forwarded using Gmail send email v1. Okay. And in this manner, I've built this amazing connection between Google Forms and Gmail using Pabbly Connect, that too without need of any coding and programming skills. So this was it for this video. Thank you so much for watching.
Not just with these applications, you can create automation between multiple applications using Pabbly Connect. If you have any doubts, you can send us email on support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can ask us queries on forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issues, you can check out this link. If you like this video, please do subscribe to our channel and hit the like button down there.